Have you ever wondered about the side of Bitcoin that doesn't make the evening news? Beyond the hype of big banks and tech billionaires, Bitcoin has a much darker, much more fascinating origin story. It was designed to be a digital ghost, a way to move value around the world without anyone watching. This is the story of Bitcoin and the shadow economy. Before Wall Street ever heard of Bitcoin, a different kind of pioneer was getting excited. People operating on the fringes, outside the traditional system, saw its potential immediately. Imagine a form of digital gold that you could send to anyone, anywhere, with no bank, no government, no questions asked. This wasn't just about convenience, it was about freedom. Or, depending on your perspective, a new way to break the rules. This brings us to the idea of a shadow economy. We're not just talking about stereotypical criminals. We're talking about anyone who wants to operate outside of official control. From political dissidents to tax avoiders, from gray market traders to full-blown black market empires. For all of them, Bitcoin's promise of frictionless, untraceable value transfer was a game changer. It was the perfect tool for a world that wanted to stay hidden. Let's dive into the most famous case study, the Silk Road. For those who don't know, Silk Road was the Amazon of the darknet, a massive online marketplace where you could buy almost anything, and most of it was illegal. It launched in 2011 and quickly became a billion-dollar enterprise, the one and only currency it accepted. Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin? Well, it was the perfect fit. Transactions were pseudonymous, meaning they weren't directly tied to a real-world identity like a bank account or credit card. It was purely digital, so sellers and buyers could be on opposite sides of the planet. There were no chargebacks, no frozen accounts. For the first time, a global black market could operate with the efficiency of a legitimate e-commerce site. The Silk Road saga proved Bitcoin's power as the cornerstone for a new kind of digital underworld. Of course, law enforcement eventually caught up with the Silk Road's founder, Ross Ulbricht. But did that stop the darknet markets? Not at all. It was like cutting one head off a hydra, two more grew in its place. New markets sprang up, learning from the mistakes of their predecessors. And Bitcoin remains their currency of choice. Despite law enforcement becoming much better at tracing Bitcoin transactions, the cat and mouse game continues, with criminals using more sophisticated techniques like mixers and tumblers to obscure the money trail. The darknet economy didn't die with the Silk Road, it just evolved. But the shadow economy is much bigger than darknet drug markets. Let's talk about something that affects every country on Earth: capital flight and tax evasion. For decades, the ultra-wealthy have used a complex system of offshore bank accounts and shell corporations in places like Switzerland or the Cayman Islands to hide their money from the taxman. It's a system that requires lawyers, accountants, and a lot of paperwork. Now enter Bitcoin. It offers a new, streamlined way to achieve the same goal. Imagine you're a wealthy individual in a country with strict capital controls, meaning you're not allowed to move large sums of money abroad. You could convert your millions into Bitcoin, store it on a tiny hardware wallet the size of a USB stick, and simply walk across the border. Your wealth is no longer in a bank, it's in your pocket, accessible from anywhere in the world with an internet connection. We've seen reports and anonymized examples of this happening. People using Bitcoin to get their savings out of economically unstable countries, or business owners using it to underreport their income and avoid taxes. This raises a huge ethical question. Is this a legitimate form of financial freedom, allowing people to protect their property from corrupt government or unfair taxation? Or is it just a high-tech tool that enables the rich to get richer by not paying their fair share, putting more burden on everyone else? The line is blurry, and Bitcoin sits right on top of it. The implications get even more serious when we look beyond individuals and consider organized groups. For cartels, terrorist organizations, and even rogue states under international sanctions, Bitcoin presents a powerful lifeline. Traditionally, these groups have had to rely on cumbersome and risky methods for moving money, like hauling suitcases full of cash or using complex, informal Hawala networks. These methods are slow, expensive, and can be intercepted. Bitcoin changes the entire dynamic. A drug cartel in South America can pay a supplier in Asia almost instantly with a Bitcoin transaction. A sanctioned nation can use it to buy and sell goods on the international market, bypassing the global banking system that has locked them out. We've seen evidence of extremist groups using crypto for fundraising and non-state actors leveraging it for logistical operations. They are constantly adapting, moving from simple Bitcoin transfers to using more advanced privacy-focused cryptocurrencies to make their financial activities nearly impossible to trace. This creates a massive challenge for global security. What happens when actors who operate outside the law have access to their own borderless, censorship-resistant financial system? This brings us to our final and perhaps most disturbing point. The whole promise of Bitcoin was decentralization, no single person, company, or government in control. It was supposed to be the great equalizer, but is that what's really happening in the shadow economy? As these clandestine networks have grown, new power structures have started to emerge within them. Think about it, while anyone can use Bitcoin, not everyone has the same level of influence. Early adopters who mined or bought huge amounts of Bitcoin when it was cheap now hold immense power. They are the whales of the underworld. Their decisions to buy or sell can move markets. Furthermore, a new class of service providers has appeared. People who run large-scale Bitcoin mixing services, who build privacy-enhancing technologies, or who operate the very darknet markets we've discussed. These individuals and groups are the new gatekeepers. They are the unseen architects of this new digital shadow world. They aren't governments or banks, but they wield a different kind of control. So the question we're left with is this: did Bitcoin really level the playing field? Or did it just reshuffle the deck, getting rid of the old gatekeepers like banks and governments, only to create a new, anonymous elite in the digital underworld? The promise was a decentralized world for everyone, but the reality might be a new form of centralized power hidden in the shadows. The invisible hand of digital gold is powerful, but it's not clear who is ultimately pulling the strings. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive into the hidden world of Bitcoin fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that goes beyond the headlines. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.